Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Whatever time you're checking this out, thank you for checking this out. This is, of course, King Petty Chronicles. We can talk about anything and everything. As you know, this is Crisis Week. This was night three, and night one was action. Night two was background and substance. Night three is going to be the twist. There were a lot of twists out there. We're going to dive right in. First of all, this is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen last night, sorry, it's all been 1 week. If you haven't seen tonight's episode, then might want to watch it before you check back in. If it doesn't matter, continue watching. First of all, I do want to give a shout out to my daughter, who actually watched the whole episode with me. She's almost 2. She was focused. Wouldn't let me put her down during the episode, and I just really thought that was a sweet moment, and it was great. I had to capture a picture of that, so there will be one picture of that right now. Now let's dive on in. The Monitor won. As of episode 3, the Monitor has got another W on his list. All Earths at this point have been destroyed. There is nothing left. There's nothing left in the universe. There is no matter left. So the one thing I will say, I was right. I was right in the fact that Grant was going to survive as the Flash. It wouldn't be him that died. I was right in the fact that it would be John Wesley Shipp that died. Only thing I was wrong about was which version of John Wesley Shipp it was. And what I do like about it is they did Earth 90's Barry Allen, which is John Wesley Shipp, but he's actually the one from the show. Back in the 90's. And what's great about that is the show didn't get to end the way that they wanted it to. So they allowed him to come back and sacrifice himself for Barry to live, because Barry's younger, he's got more time that he needs to do this. And John Wesley Shipp, his versions of him in the show do this for Barry a lot. Like, there's always a version of him that always looks out for him, and it's great that it's his father's doppelganger. So in his universe, John Wesley Shipp was his dad. So to see all these, even though your father has passed away, you still have all these versions of him, and other versions of him are Flashes. So you really have someone to talk to about this. And so he ended up taking Barry's speed and then stepping into the treadmill again, because he was already on the treadmill. It was being run by him. They freed him, and he was like, no, you got to put me back, because if you don't, the treadmill is going to explode and everything's going to be destroyed anyway. So this is what gives you guys the time. And they figure out, well, maybe if we go backwards, we can reverse it all, and it works. So Barry was going to jump on. John steals his speed and then gets on again, and so he runs himself out and replace and explodes the cannon. Black Lightning was in this episode. What I was also wrong about that was that apparently his episode did have something about the crossover in it, because now his Earth's gone too. Like, I didn't know, so I'm watching him hop in. I'm just confused as him. He's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh dang!" Like, he didn't know what happened. Like, maybe there's something that happened, but for his Earth to have been destroyed, I got to go back and watch these episodes. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. So now all the Earths are gone. Earth 18 is gone, where they just came from, using the Lazarus pits. And speaking of the Lazarus pits, let's just touch on Oliver Queen. And so what's crazy is Lucifer Morningstar from the show Lucifer on Fox, his Earth 666, was in the crossover. But the funny thing is he's been talked about being in this, and he denied it. So he was one person who actually held on to his secrecy and didn't tell anybody. And so I do like that. He was Lucifer. He got them into purgatory so they could go get Oliver's soul to bring it back. And when they were coming back with his soul, Jim Corrigan shows up, who's the Spectre, shows up and stops them from coming back. Like, you have something else you got to do. And Oliver Queen did become the Spectre in the comic books, I'm pretty sure. No. Maybe. I'm going to have to go back and read. I got confused. I was thinking Hal Jordan. That's who I was. The green and all that got me. So Earth 203 is also gone, and that was where we saw Huntress and Birds of Prey. Their universe was destroyed. So after all this, everything came back to Earth 1. They stopped the treadmill. Earth 9, Barry dies. They think they've saved Earth 1, and then the Anti-Monitor shows up, kills the Monitor, takes his power and then destroys Earth One and destroys the Wave Rider in space, where everyone is. And Pariah uses his powers and sends the Paragons to a time out of the vanishing point, which is outside of time and space. And then so it ends with Iris dying on the Wave Rider, Superman from Supergirl dying, Kingdom Come, Superman, Barry, Ryan Choi comes in this episode, Supergirl, like they all get sent to the vanishing point. And when they get there, they start working on their plan, and then lo and behold, Superman starts dying. Like, he's just seeing red, and it's like, what happened? Did he get hit by some antimatter that was delayed because he's strong? And he's falling down, and they're looking at it like, because there's nothing they can do. And then out of nowhere, it turns into Lex Luthor, and you're like, what just happened? And Lex is like, yeah, I read this in the Book of Destiny, and so he wrote his name over Superman's name. And so when the Wave Rider was destroyed and he was on it, there was a switch out that happened. So Superman ends up dying, and Lex Luthor was saved from the Wave Rider and is now in the vanishing point with the other Paragons. And if you read the comics, Lex Luthor does have an important part to play in fighting Anti-Monitor. So, and now that there's nothing left, there's really nothing that he, they can't send him anywhere, but he's going to have to help if he wants to do something. Now, like I said, all these ups and downs, the fact that Barry gets to live, they brought Vibe back. The Monitor was like, you got more work to do, gave him back his powers. So that was great. I thought maybe, they would go back in time and get maybe a version of him or for him from a different universe. But the fact that, the Monitor just like, we don't need all that. Just woof, here's your powers back. Here you go. So, and this was the end for this year. So we are taking a month break from Crisis Talk. This will be, the last Nerd Talk until next year Arrow comes out, and then that'll be my next Crisis video. Comment what had to this so far was my favorite episode of the 3. So what was your favorite episode? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, click that button, please, and share this video. And I hope everybody has a good one.